History will mark this day with crimson ink, for even the most jubilant weddings can drown in the echo of terror. In recap, Marshal God Asura, chapter 957-958, Jiang Qisha stands at the center of a crowd over 100 million strong, his smile a mask over the shadow of absolute cruelty. One sect has already vanished in a blinding explosion of light and blood, and yet the whispers of who is truly righteous hang in the air, questioning hearts and trembling bodies alike. The murmurs of Chu Feng's absence ripple through the assembly, as Murong Mingtian and others twist his reputation into mockery. But amidst applause and fear, a lone figure rises, shrouded and anonymous, stirring a disquiet no one can name. What force now waits to challenge the King of Fists? The stage is set, the silence heavy, and destiny seems poised to speak. In the midst of a vast assembly, a sea of over 100 million eyes turned nervously toward him. Jiang Qisha, his aura radiating with ruthless dominance, allowed a smug smile to curl upon his lips. The silence of the crowd was deafening, yet he sought affirmation. He raised his voice, a thunderclap in the tense air. "Tell me, am I a good person?" But the mass remained mute, swallowed by fear and indecision. The hundreds of millions of cultivators, sect members and wanderers, none dared speak. The question hung heavy, a blade poised above their throats, and still silence reigned. Impatience flared within him. He gestured toward a distant cluster of cloaked figures, a minor sect present among the spectators. Their leader, standing slightly ahead, quivered like a reed in the wind. The moment his gaze met Jiang Qisha's, terror struck him silent. He could not utter a word, could not even form a thought coherent enough to respond. "Go to hell with your hesitation," Jiang Qisha bellowed, his voice slicing through the quiet. Anger and disdain radiated from him like heat from a molten forge. With a single swing of his palm, a brilliant orb of light erupted, enveloping the sect in an instant. When the light dissipated, the once thriving group had vanished entirely. Only a crimson pool of blood remained, soaking the ground. A collective gasp tore through the assembly. Panic rippled like wildfire. Many staggered back, eyes wide with horror. What manner of marriage ceremony demanded such death? Was this an execution disguised as celebration? Jiang Qisha's reputation for ferocity was no mere rumor. He could and might annihilate anyone daring to oppose him. Still, he pressed on, pointing at another group. "Now, tell me, am I a good person?" This time, fear overcame hesitation. Voices quavered but spoke, trembling under his gaze. "Yes, Lord Jiang Qisha is a good person." The words were forced, yet they were enough to ignite his twisted delight. "Ha ha! Such exquisite pretense," he roared, laughter rolling like distant thunder. Yet his mirth did not soften, it sharpened. Bloodlust flickered in his eyes as he scanned the masses. "All of you," he demanded, voice slicing through the air. "Say it, am I, Jiang Qisha, a good person?" One by one, the crowd responded. Shouts grew louder, more fervent, until a unified roar thundered through the valley. "Lord Jiang Qisha is a good person. Lord Jiang Qisha is a true good person." Their fear had twisted into reluctant obedience, their unity forming a chorus that reverberated against the mountains and sky. Jiang Qisha's laughter rolled again, wicked and triumphant. "Hear this," he declared, the cadence of his words heavy with authority. "In this world, true good and true evil are illusions. Kindness and malice? Nonsense. The truth lies in strength. The victor writes the rules, the defeated suffers humiliation. Power alone dictates right and wrong." He paced, his robes billowing, eyes glinting with unyielding pride. "Today I claim Xiling as my bride, for my strength permits it. Chu Feng, weak, impotent, cannot oppose me. All his bravery, all his legend, crumbles before my fist. He can only endure this humiliation, powerless." The assembly listened, some hearts tightening with fear, others curiously nodding. Slowly, comprehension dawned. The strong truly ruled the weak. Jiang Qisha's words, though cruel, carried the logic of survival. Even righteous indignation twisted under the weight of undeniable force. "Look and see," he continued, his voice rising like a tempest. "I am the master of my fate. Desire and strength are the only laws. If I wish, I take. If I conquer, I claim. None may challenge me." His declaration echoed through the mountains, shaking the air as if the heavens themselves trembled. The crowd murmured in agreement, the seeds of fear and awe sprouting into respect. Whispers spread. Chu Feng, once a hero in the Eastern Sea, now appeared a coward, a man who could not shield his beloved. The mighty Chu Feng, it seemed, had faded into irrelevance before the overwhelming might of Jiang Qisha. From among the assembly, Murong Mingtian stepped forward, voice ringing clear above the din. "Indeed," he said, deliberate and cutting, "Chu Feng has slain members of the immortal execution archipelago, dared to seize my royal armament, and earned renown across the eastern sea. Yet here he stands, nowhere to be seen. While Xiling is claimed by Jiang Qisha, he preys on the weak but quakes before the strong." Murmurs of assent rippled outward, voices joining, shaming Chu Feng even as they lauded Jiang Qisha's ruthless reason. The great cultivator, once praised as indomitable, had become the subject of ridicule. Strength, it seemed, was the only currency respected in the lands of martial arts. Just as the ridicule reached its peak, a single, mysterious voice rang out from the shadows, sharp and commanding. "Are you certain, Murong Mingtian, that Chu Feng will truly not come?" The assembly froze. The speaker's presence, concealed yet imposing, cast a ripple of unease across the crowd. A long robe concealed their form, a figure of authority and silent menace. Even those who mocked Chu Feng now felt a shiver of dread. Something told them this was no ordinary question. This was a herald of destiny, a shadow moving among the powerful, waiting to alter the balance of what all believed unshakable. The tension thickened. Jiang Qisha's smile faltered just a fraction, a prelude to storms yet to come. The murmurs of the assembly, once certain in their scorn, faltered. In the martial world, even the mightiest could be challenged by fate, or by a hero yet unseen. The air was thick with tension, crackling as if the very heavens themselves were holding their breath. "Insolence!" roared a voice sharp enough to split stone. "Who dares to speak my ancestor's name with such familiarity?" The warriors of the immortal execution archipelago bristled, eyes blazing like lightning, ready to strike at the one who dared provoke them. The mere presence of this audacious figure radiated trouble, a storm that had clearly come to stir conflict. But before the first blow could land, a calm command cut through the rising fury. Murong Mingtian stepped forward, his gaze narrowed, eyes cold and precise, resting on the long-robed challenger. A wry smile curled on his lips. When the immortal execution archipelago and the three great clans descended upon Misty Peak, Chu Feng could barely lift a finger in battle. He was relegated to the sidelines, powerless to act. Only Lady Piao Miao's selfless sacrifice spared him and Chu Shui Fuyan from certain death. "Tell me, do you think he would dare show himself now?" A faint smile flickered across the challenger's face, a shadow of amusement beneath their hood. "Perhaps you presume too quickly," they said, their voice like silk laced with steel. "Chu Feng is of the crippling night demon sect. Loyalty and camaraderie are their creed. Rumor whispers that their forces have already gathered, hidden in plain sight. Are they here for revenge? No one can say. And Lady Piao Miao, she survived, you know. Once she recovers, what guarantee is there that she won't return, side by side with the crippling night demon sect, to reclaim what was taken?" The challenger's words cut like a blade through the pride of the crowd, eyes widening as fear seeped in. Pointing at them with unrestrained fury, they barked, "And you, vile men! You speak not of Jiang Qisha taking Chu Feng's beloved, nor of his innocent victims. Instead, you scorn him. Do you not quake at the thought that Chu Feng with his sect might descend upon you, sever your tongues, and snuff out your insignificant lives?" A chill ran down spines, sharper than the coldest winter wind. Even the bravest hearts faltered. To invoke Murong Mingtian's name here, to speak with such fearless audacity, could only mean one thing. This was an ally of Chu Feng, come to challenge them. "Ha ha! Crippling night demon sect, Chu Feng himself, come one, come all!" Murong Mingtian's laughter rolled like thunder across the peaks. "I will obliterate you, leaving no trace, no soul, no corpse." In a sudden, sweeping motion, he unleashed a torrent of martial power. The long-robed figure was annihilated in an instant, scattering to nothingness. The bystanders exhaled in relief. The message was clear. Under Murong Mingtian's watch, even the boldest challengers would meet only death. But the calm was fleeting. A voice rang out once more, colder than a mounting glacier, carrying over the stunned crowd. And then a figure streaked through the sky. This one bore no robe. His face was revealed, though faint, blurred and luminous, his entire form translucent, shimmering with a ghostly radiance. He was not merely a man. He was a presence, a consciousness given form. Consciousness? Impossible. Whispers of disbelief rippled through the crowd. Senior Murong just destroyed him. How can he appear again? Anxiety gripped hearts, tightening like a vice. Murong Mingtian's eyes darkened. Appear once, I destroy once. Come as many times as you wish. It changes nothing. His strike struck true, and once more the figure disintegrated under his might. Then a distant rumble shook the heavens. A vast, glowing mass blotted out the sky. The crowd froze in terror as the luminous shapes resolved into millions. An endless tide of warriors, all resembling the translucent figure, each radiating an aura of lethal power. Among them, countless martial lords, and even several martial kings, their might palpable even from afar. A chilling voice carried over the masses. Murong Mingtian, you promised destruction for each who appeared. Let us see if you can vanquish us all. The army unleashed a storm of martial techniques, a torrent of devastating power that swept toward the defenders. Murong Mingtian leapt like a blade through the ranks, every strike felling dozens. Numbers meant nothing against the wrath of a rank 7 martial king. Beside him, the immortal execution archipelago and the 3 great monstrous clans surged forward, their combined might striking down the first wave with precision. Yet victory was fleeting. From another quarter, another wave of warriors emerged, identical to the last. Murong Mingtian roared in fury, charging again, each strike a tempest of destruction. Despite their endless numbers, each assault was crushed beneath his overwhelming might. But then yet another wave rose, and another. From every direction they came, unceasing, relentless, an infinite tide of warriors. The defenders' courage began to waver. Stamina waned, exhaustion gnawed at even the strongest. The immortal execution archipelago had the skill, the power, but not infinite endurance. No matter their might, the enemy pressed onward, endless as the stars, threatening to drown them in an unending storm of war. In the skies above, the legend of martial might was being etched in fire and blood. And amidst this chaos, one truth loomed ever larger. The battle was far from over, and the night was only beginning.